Hold on. Yeah. We don't know. We have errors.
Are we on?
We might be
Is
on.
this on?
You're live. Go.
Happy Make Solo 2 Happen Day today. We're in a celebratory mood, everybody. And I'm done with Target. Josh, hit it.
Hey, welcome into the Hall of Chronicles, your premier collector show on Monday night at 7 if you're not watching another show. So welcome in. I'm Josh, one of your hosts. And
I am Andy. Welcome to episode 80 of the Hall of Chronicles podcast.
80.
Got some very fun things lined up for you guys tonight for your viewing and listening pleasure. Welcome to the Holo Cronies in the chat.
Oh, Holocrones.
Just throwing that out there, trying it out, seeing how it
Holocronies.
fits. Welcome to those who are listening to us on the Rewind on audio platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Make Solo 2 Happen Day, a day first brought about by our friends at the Resistance Broadcast, James, John, and Lacey. And
John. We'll put it up on the screen.
Oh, lovely. Cheers to you guys for getting that to be a trending topic every year around this time.
Who wouldn't want another? I was watching it today just in the background as I was doing my various things, and it's just fun. It was fun. I watched the Beast part, where he gets thrown in with Chewie and randomly learns Wookiee. He's like, I know a little, and then it turns out to be a lot.
He gargles.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I like the show.
I'm eating cheese puffs.
You are puffing out like unapologetically just munching into the mic.
Can you hear that?
We can all hear it. It's great.
All right, I'll try and calm that down a little bit.
Yeah, but anyway, you've joined us on set number 3007.
On our way to a new set design. We pulled it in a little tighter. We'll get to the main topic here in just a little bit. And the topic for today is should you insure your collection?
Right.
And the answer is going to be different for everybody because everybody's collection is different. But Josh, what I wanted to ask you first before we got there is, have you ever held a hairless cat before?
Absolutely not. No. No. And that's what we have on the screen right now.
Yeah, right over there as part of the thumbnail for tonight's show. That's Bartleby. Hairless cat.
Bartleby?
Yeah, Bartleby. The coolest cat I've ever had the pleasure of being around. It's weird. It's weird petting a hairless cat.
Go on.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna tell you, if you haven't, it's weird. That's all I can say. And if you have, then you know what I mean. You know exactly what it feels like.
All right. I guess to the privileged out there, congratulations. And to those that have not, may you get your rub on.
Let me give a little shout out to those in the chat with us already. We've got, well, first of all, 12 hours ago, Jesse posted ready.
Yeah, I did see that.
12 hours early. Thank you,
Jesse. You are first.
Way to go. You
Way
win.
to go.
You win.
You win.
I posted it and you commented.
As Matt gnashes his teeth.
Gallinorian, Saber, Gilster, Rez, Nick's here. Nick Gilster, Gary. Good to see all of you guys. Anthony, our recent hat winner, had nothing but nice things to say about us in an email.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
He's rocking. I heard he's rocking the hat in Times Square right now.
I mean,
and he was right. He said in his email, I could be the only dude rocking around New York in a Hall of Chronicles hat.
I believe he is. In fact, I responded to him. He's the only one in the 5 boroughs.
Wow. Is that a Hobbit reference?
No.
I don't know.
Hobbit reference. Come on.
I don't know.
JD, good to see you. No, we will be getting some new hats available for you guys to
yeah, we've got a batch coming in.
We do have a batch, a good batch, if you will.
Not a bad last episode batch.
Boring.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Brandon, good to see you here also. I hope you're
Matt said he's first for next week, so good. So enough with the chat. We love the chat so much. You guys are gonna have your own show.
Yeah, you guys
go
really
ahead.
I could just watch the chat.
Carry
all
on,
evening.
Carry on. So
we have things to get to.
Keep us on track.
Josh, have you gotten anything in the last week?
No. I've Black Series has just been kind of rolling in. Both of my Bo-Katans came a couple weeks ago. Gosh dang it. I just need to remember. So I've got 2 Bo-Katans.
Wait a minute.
Black Series.
You accidentally ordered 2?
Yeah, I did.
You know what that means.
What? Yeah, you get a Bo-Katan.
No, I have one. I have one.
Oh.
I have a Bo-Katan.
That
means
a Bo-Katan giveaway? Or?
We need to give away a Bo-Katan.
Damn, we're not that cool.
But if there's somebody within sound of our voice, if you need a Bo-Katan, let us know. The rule is, guys, if you, and here's where the honor system comes in. If you accidentally order 2 of something in which you only thought you were getting 1, you have to give the second one away. The only caveat to that, and I'm going to make a new rule here, is that if you leave one in the box, you take the other one out.
All right.
What would you rather do?
We'll see how big of a dick I am.
Right now.
For said giveaway.
By the way, we have 2 posters from Red 5 Designs Book of Boba Fett. We have 2 posters left, and we're going to give away one this week. Details at the end of the show. Details at the end of the show. Yes, this is going to be excellent.
I can't wait for the details. I have to be honest with
you. Excellent. Yeah, definitely. I forgot I ordered that.
Yeah,
No,
I have that shirt. Yeah, I already have that shirt. It's one that I got that I forgot I ordered.
You actually have 2 of those shirts.
Yeah, I have a lot of those shirts.
Okay. Well, I did get a couple of things this week. Yeah, go ahead.
Professionals here.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll throw them on.
Oh, I thought you were going to eat some.
No, I'm good.
I recently made a trade with a friend of the program, Greg, at Ion Cannon on Twitter. Greg was trying to fill out some of his vintage figures, and I had some extras, and we made a trade. Love trades. And the best trades are when both parties walk away not only happy, but excited about what they're getting.
Right.
Okay. He had some things that he just had in boxes that he wasn't going to display. I had some extras of some vintage figures that he could use, and we just swapped. I have honestly no idea if the values are close.
Right.
And that's okay. Those are the best trades, when you and I can walk away from a trade feeling good about what just happened. I'm excited about what I got. He was pumped about what he got. In fact, he posted a couple pictures with his son opening the box. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really appreciated him posting those. That was always fun for me to see. But let me tell you what I got.
Okay.
In the trade. First of all, outstanding job, Greg. Shout out to you for the pack job that you did.
A collector likes a nice pack job.
Yes. Yeah, and in fact, they're all packed in in bubble wrap.
Display that bubble wrap.
So he traded me some Force Unleashed figures.
Okay.
From this line of packaging. I should probably go put that up.
Get it to me.
You're closer. And so read off what's that one?
This right here is Emperor's Shadow Guard.
The Shadow Guard, the Emperor's Shadow Guard. Okay. Then we've got Ram Koda. These are all figures from the Force Unleashed video game.
Oh, nice.
They're awesome. How many of you guys played this game? I did not. I've only heard that it's awesome. But I know the figures are cool, and I thought it'd be cool to get this lineup.
Still stands up, this game.
100%. 100%. What's up, Force of Light? Good to see you here. Sean, good to see you. Not a baby.
Cannon got you hooked up here, man.
I know. Greg. We got Juno Eclipse coming. And then I think there's like 8 or so of these figures, and Greg sent me 6 of them. So I went and bought one of them. Stormtrooper Commander. Love that one. I am a little bit. Because I got it for peanuts, I went and purchased this one here, the Imperial Evo Trooper.
Everyone knows about the Imperial Evo Trooper.
And what got the conversation started was this Star Wars Evolutions Vader's Secret Apprentice 3-pack with the Secret Apprentice, the Sith Lord, and the Jedi Knight.
Star Killer?
Put that up there. That's awesome.
Guy. Oh, very cool.
So, Josh, you played this game, correct?
I did.
And what are your thoughts on it? I'll tell you, you've told me a number of times that it's awesome.
So, I played this game as recently as a month ago. And just kind of got my feet wet again, testing out the controls. It is, for my perspective, as far as a Star Wars game, it could be one of my favorites. As far like lightsaber duels, I think the physics, the dynamics are better than like a Battlefront, in my opinion. And it's fantastic. Star Killers it's just so cool that Vader had an apprentice as Vader,
Yeah,
outside of Snips, and it was great.
Okay.
It's just a great game. I mean, you pull a Star Destroyer out of the sky. I mean, that's fantastic. You're whipping TIE fighters left and right. You're using the Force, and those are your choices too. Like, well, the Star Destroyer is definitely like,
that's what the kids call OP.
yeah.
He's
Pull the Star Destroyer
overpowering.
is definitely a deal. But whether you manipulate the TIE fighters that are flying through a particular building or not is up to you.
Yeah.
And then you're just hucking stormtroopers off because you're against everyone, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you're under the radar.
Do you think it's better, the same, or not as good as Knights of the Old Republic?
Well, it's 2 different games.
Well, obviously.
Knights of the Old Republic is an RPG.
Okay.
And this is just a straight, run, and it's a button masher.
Okay.
Which is fun. It's totally fun. Like, there are so many moves that you have to hit 2 X's, a Y, and a B, and it's just XXX for me. Just triple X.
More on that later. Well, anyway, I'm totally pumped about these figures. I think there's 1 or 2 more that I need to get to complete this little mini set.
It's a cool line.
But yeah, it's cool. And Greg, thank you. Thanks for the nice pack job. Thanks for the trade. Pretty awesome stuff. I love a good trade. Love a good trade.
Mm.
Do you love a good trade? I love a good trade.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's something else that I got that I did not trade. I pure bought. And this was something that I saw at the toy fair. And 2 weeks later, I was still kicking myself that I didn't get it. You ever had that kind of like,
sure.
I should have bought. I should have got that.
Oh,
because
I thought you were talking about,
because the best time to get something is when you see it, especially when you're collecting, because you never know when something is, unusual or maybe on the rarer side,
sure,
will pop up again.
Sure.
So I figured after 2 weeks, if I was still thinking about this, then that probably says something.
Right.
And yeah,
got a drum roll here. I'll put it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Nick, give us a drum roll. Thank you. I'm bad at it. Like, uh-oh. Hold on. Our camera's freaking out because of what you're doing.
Why?
I don't know.
No, there we go.
I'm blaming you, though. Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, a Commander Gree.
I was going to say, that's a Gree. Oh, good God. It's 40 pounds.
It's made out of resin, not fiberglass. Oh, my gosh. It is such a well done, well painted helmet.
Wow, it is so heavy.
It is super heavy. That just means it's of high quality.
Yeah.
And Josh, and you haven't seen this. This is new to you. So this is totally awesome. But what do you think you would pay for this helmet. Now, keep in mind, I know you just bought one a few months ago, custom helmet.
It's between 150 and 250 is how I feel.
Okay.
Especially with the resin, it might be closer to the 200 range.
Well, that's what it was listed as. It was listed at 200.
Okay.
The guy gave it to me for 150.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
and I mean, if you went by weight, that's literally $5 a pound. It's got to be 30 pounds.
It's so, I mean, that just speaks to how well it was made to me. You won't be able to get your head in it. I've already tried. The head hole is a little smaller than what you and I require.
The clones that were crafted for efficiency, and
yeah, so we'll just leave that right there.
Beautiful.
That's in the shot, right?
It is.
Let's do this. Let's just kind
beautiful.
Give it a little bit of an angle.
So, what was your motivation? You just walked away from it, and
I walked away. I saw it. Well, this was the guy that I bought the sideshows from.
Sure.
And I'd spent a chunk of money on those,
yeah.
And I was like, if I didn't, I would have got this instead. But a couple weeks later, I'm still thinking about it. And so since I had PayPal'd him, I emailed him and said, hey, you by chance still have that helmet? And if you do, would you ship it? Because he lives in Seattle, which is a couple hours away from us. And he's like, yeah, I still got it, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, how's 150? And then we'll figure out the shipping.
Wow.
I was like,
no, that's a steal.
Let's do it.
That's a steal, especially because, I mean, part of us as collectors, when you're getting a custom, is a little bit of the weight is an issue. Like,
right.
Like, how is this built? That thing is a literal helmet. Like, it will take a shot.
As long as it's not a direct point blank.
Well, yeah, a glancing blow is
a glancing blow. It will.
But you try to put your head in there and it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit.
How about like your kid?
Tova can rock that thing.
But Tova weighs as much as this.
Yeah, I know, that's funny though. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely cool. And Gree is one of those. I mean, he's a clone trooper that, he went at Yoda and got the wrong end of a lightsaber, but it's totally rad. I love it. Yeah, absolutely love it.
Getting some recommendations on where to put it. So there we go.
Yes. Excellent.
That's a good get, dude.
Thanks, man. I really like it. I've gotten a few helmets now that pretty pumped about. I don't know if I'm going to keep going down this road, but I guess if I see something that catches my eye and it brings joy, if it sparks joy, Josh,
right.
I think that's the most
important thing. I think buckets are easy. Buckets are all day. Yeah. You can put them everywhere. I mean, I know Paul will agree.
Yes, Paul will agree.
Buckets are just, I've got my daughter had a couple of, okay, I have a funny story for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, here we go. So my daughter had a couple of her friends over, 3 of them, 2 girls, 2 guys. You get the picture. Yeah. So the guys float into this room and they see a few of the helmets, right? And they see a few of the sabers laying around.
Yeah.
And if I were I
know where this
home,
is going.
I wasn't home, but all of a sudden they come sliding across the, we go to
risky business style
floor with the saber and a Mandalorian helmet, a Boba Fett or whatever helmet on, and they're slicing and doing noises and stuff, like, which makes me happy. It actually makes me happy. I'm like,
sure.
If you're gonna, without permission, put on one of my helmets and grab a saber,
you better go full.
You better go full nerd. You better go full nerd. And they did. And then one of the guys like, wow, and he like slices up my daughter's friend, another gal. He's like, cut your leg off. And she's like, so you're just gonna let me bleed to death?
'Tis but a scratch.
You're gonna let me bleed to death.
Yeah.
And my daughter is telling me this.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, do you know what he said? And I'm like, yeah, it would cauterize the wound immediately so she wouldn't bleed to death. And she's like, that's exactly what he said. I'm like, all right, these guys can come over anytime they want.
Welcome.
Anytime.
Give them a key.
He's like, no, your wound would be cauterized immediately. So I was pretty impressed by these. These are fine young men.
Yes.
Who would slice off the leg of one of my daughter's friends, but know the science behind a saber cut.
It's going to be cauterized.
So I was, anyway.
No tourniquet needed.
Anyway, we'll live stream the wedding. But yeah.
That's funny.
No, I was dying because she just looked at me. She's like, I can't believe you just said that. And I'm like, no, everyone knows that's science.
That's great.
That's science.
Your daughter's hanging out with cool people.
Really?
I could only hope my son hangs out with equally cool people.
Get that Bo-Katan helmet. See if she picks it up.
Yeah, seriously. Come on, Black Series, make a Bo-Katan helmet.
Come on.
Josh, we had 2 weeks ago, we debuted a new segment on the Holo Chronicles podcast.
I'm excited for this.
This will be the second installment of what we hope to be regular installments from our buddy Jackson.
It's the Jackson 5. Jackson
comic review.
I know you're out there. Yeah, this is Jackson 5. It's going to be a comic review, I guess, but
I suppose it could be.
Jackson,
it could go in a lot of different
I hope
directions.
you're ready.
I hope you're ready, Jackson.
We've done a shitload of coordinating here, and here we go.
Is there anybody named Jackson around?
The stuff of legend.
Oh,
that overmodulation at the end.
You made it, buddy. You made it.
I know.
Welcome in, man. Welcome in. We're glad to have you. And you've got another 5, Jackson 5 for us, which is very exciting.
I sure do. Before I start, I want to say Mazel Tov on the upcoming wedding. Mazel Tov.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, he's a very fine young
Congratulations.
man. I don't even think that was my daughter's interest, but I don't care. I'll make the play.
It's too bad now. It's too bad.
Yeah.
It's done. The parents have agreed. Goats have been exchanged.
As is custom.
Tauntauns have been neutered.
Right.
We're off to the races.
Right.
Wait, what?
Right. The proofs of purchase have been transferred. The
flag points have been acquired.
Right. Yeah.
With
all due respect, just hope your kids don't grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It gets worse.
I'm trying.
It gets worse.
Well, what do you got for us this week, buddy?
Well, as you guys remember, last time I was on, we talked about the Shaken poster. We'll show that a little bit.
Howard Shaken.
That's right. The Howard Shaken, who was the lead artist for the Star Wars comic adaptation in Marvel, issues 1 through 6. Now, so that drawing, let's see if we can pull it up right now. Whammo.
Wait a minute. Time out.
No.
You son of a bitch. You got an Anakin Clone Wars Black Series figure?
Oh, did you see that?
Oh, it's right back there, isn't it?
Just over your shoulder. I've been. I'm not going to get into it. Carry on.
Okay, we'll talk about that afterwards, though. Don't hate me. All right.
Because you ain't.
So this is issue number 1 of Star Wars. Now, the date says July of 1977. It actually was released in some markets on April 12th, 1977. When did the film come out, guys?
May.
That's right. Now, would that ever happen now with a big blockbuster movie, a comic book adaptation coming out a full month before the release?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So good planning on Marvel and Lucasfilm's part. As I told you in the last episode, there were still some apprehension about Star Wars. There were a lot of people that didn't think it was going to be successful. Stan Lee was very adamant against movie adaptations. He thought that they were losers, but they still took a chance on this. I guess George Lucas charmed the pants off of him because they
as he can do that charmer.
Yeah, he is.
Mr. Personality.
Why don't you make my comic book? So he did. He was successful, and as the movie became a success, well, the comics became a success, and they did not have enough on hand as far as printing. The first print went pretty quickly, as you can imagine. There were multiple prints after that. So there was a second print, a third print. There was also a Whitman print. You guys remember the book company Whitman? Yes, it was like the children's books. They did their own print as well, and that title, if you add up all the prints, sold 1 million copies, which was a big deal back then.
That is a big deal. Yeah,
it was actually the first time that any title sold 1 million copies since 1960. It was Jim Shooter, the editor-in-chief of Marvel, basically has admitted that Star Wars saved Marvel in the late 70s.
Really?
80s. Yep. Now, back to collectibility. All right, we all know what the story is, but we're going to talk about collectibility. Now, there are multiple prints. They're not variants. Technically, they're not variants because, in the way that we know variant covers to be. If a comic comes out nowadays, there's at least 2 different covers now for most issues. And, depending upon the availability of those variant covers could be, high in value. But the prints are what we're talking about here. So let me see. So you're looking at right now the first print, and that's the one I have right here too. So show you guys that right there. We can see that. That is, yep, thank you. That is issue number 1. That's the first print, and it's graded. That's a CGC grading. It's very similar to the toy grading system. There are 2 independent grading services that operate in the comic space, CGC and CBCS. There's, some people have a preference, but essentially it will ensure that what you're buying, generally ensure that what you're buying is what the seller is telling you it is. And so that copy that I have is graded 9.0, so the condition is pretty good. Let's see if I could bring up that again. Okay. Oh, how do I bring that back? Oh, here we go.
You're in
Sorry
charge,
about that.
Jackson. Come on.
I know I am.
Come on.
Here we go. Here. Okay. So this is print number 1, and the Whitman print is right here. So first difference, you could see right there, there's nothing in the box. In my copy, in the first print, there is a barcode, right? Nothing right there. The colors look very similar. But if you look right here, that's a big red flag right there. Reprint. Can you guys see that? In blue letters.
Right next to He-Man Luke. Yeah, I got it.
Right next to He-Man Luke. By the way, He-Man Luke with the red lightsaber is one of my favorites. I want a black series of him.
Right.
And also note
jacked.
the
Or should we say Adam Luke?
Oh,
That's
yes.
kinda what
Look at the price right there. Okay, so this one is 35 cents.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that I have, the actual first print is 30 cents.
Serious inflation going on here. Wow.
Yes. Well, now
Almost doubled.
the other prints are, the other second and third printings are 35 cents. Now, the big issue now here is Marvel was interested in experimenting to see what people were willing to pay for comics, and they were doing test pricing at 35 cents in certain markets.
Okay.
And one of those issues happened to be print number 1 of Star Wars, but it was only sold in 4 cities. I get that written down: Toledo, Tuscaloosa, Wilmington, and Memphis. And this is that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is print number 1 at the test price at 35 cents. So you got the barcode down there. You got 35 cents right here. It's the same look on the top. Now,
so basically a ripoff in Toledo is what we're talking about.
Come
here.
on.
well, Andy, Josh, if you saw that and said that, I hope you just kind of hunkered down and bought it, because right now, this particular issue, because there was only 1,500 sold, and there's probably about a quarter.
I'm going to
that
say 70 cents. I'm going to say 70 cents value.
Current value.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see.
$1,000.
That's double.
It has sold for 10,000, and you can currently find it online for 20,000 on eBay.
Wow.
So that's a big difference. Yeah.
Is that buy it now or make best offer?
It still seems like a bit of a ripoff if I'm a Toledean.
You still are bitter about that, right?
I'm still bitter. Bitter. Hey, we're trying to get by down here, okay?
I understand.
So in Toledo.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, so now if you are interested in starting a collection, you want to start with Star Wars comics, and you want to start with the old series, then yeah, you're going to have to spend some money when you get to the older issues. If you're interested in just having a copy just to read or to have around, there are ways to do that that are much less expensive. So
Amazon
right here, when
Prime?
no, well, you could do that too. You can get a digital copy, but if you want something like a hard copy, you can get something like this. So this is the facsimile print of Star Wars #1. It is from 2019. And if you look at it, you can see that the price, I don't know if you guys can catch the price right there.
$3.
$3.99.
What will the Canadians say?
I know. They're up in arms right now.
Yeah.
Now it is unlike other reprints, it actually is a facsimile. So it's kept all of the original ads. So this again
interesting.
This is
cool.
So this
I
is
thought you had to have a
2019.
fax machine to get it, which is like no problem. I got mine hooked up. Let's do it.
Who has a fax machine?
Like I said, no problem. I'll hook it
I'm
up.
looking
Let's
at
do
you,
it.
Matthew.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right? So all the ads,
But
and
also, you don't feel bad about like opening it up and
Yeah.
looking at it. Whereas your 9.0, you're not going to touch ever.
exactly.
Like, I'm surprised you breathed near it.
So that's the thing. once you break the seal of a graded, slabbed comic book, you really have basically defeated the purpose of buying it in the first place.
Sure.
And it's one of those things where if you really are adamant to read it, like actually have a hard copy in your hand, the facsimile editions are the best way to go.
Nice.
Well, thanks, man. That's good to know because I have always wanted to look through one of those, but obviously never sprung on the dough to get one. And I want to say, like, you can buy a non-graded one for maybe under $300, $300 or $400, and condition for an ungraded can vary wildly. But I would be okay having one that isn't in the best condition just so that I could read it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've got one upstairs. It's like huge. It's bigger than that. So it says like special edition on it. And it's absolutely what Jackson just showed. It's in terrible condition, but that's the kind that you can open up and kind of just read. And I don't even think it's a facsimile, a special edition. Now I want to go grab it because I feel like
you should take a look up because, well, first of all, Andy, to your point, I agree. Like it's, if you want to read it, then grading isn't maybe the best thing. But the one thing about grading that is helpful is that they do a sweep of of kind of the telltale signs of forgery. We looked at that. Let me see if we could bring that up again. The reprint of with the Whitman reprint. Let's see if I can bring that up right now.
Do you have that, or does he have that?
Yeah, I got it right here, right there. See that? All right. So some people have figured out a way to just kind of blue in the black spaces between, and have tried to sell that to to the untrained eye as original first prints, and it's just that
like
it happens with everything.
Like a repro Leia's blaster. Dang it.
Oh no, did that happen to you?
No, but it could have.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for the BMB.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
no doubt.
So it's worth having the grading services do the verification of authenticity, so you don't have to chase that down. So if you can find a slabbed copy, that's the best way to go. Make sure that the slab actually, if you can find the pictures, the slab is basically sealed across the board. So if somebody opens it, then you know that they've tampered with it, and then it's suspect.
Issue 1. Thanks for bringing that up. That seems like it's great.
Jackson, there's a question here from the chat, and I want
go for it.
I want you to answer this here. It's from the Galactic Curator. It says, if I have a signed comic like that, is it worth grading?
Yes.
Or to seal it away, and also to seal it away.
So some
seal
of
the signature is what he's saying then, because
so there was
in the cover,
there was an issue of Star Wars #1 that was signed by I think most of the cast, and I believe it was signed by Stan Lee, and that was sold for $22,000. it was signed and slabbed. So you sign it, and if you can get certificates of authenticity for the signatures, that's great. And
maybe pictures of the signature page or something.
You know, most of the times they sign on
the cover, but
on the cover. Yep. And if it's Stan Lee signing the cover of your comic book, there's no way in hell that's going to ruin the quality. So whatever, let them sign it. But the big thing is certificates of authenticity for those kinds of things. So if you can get that, that's great. If you can slab it still, there's still a lot of value in it. So I would say get it graded. If it's a #1 copy like that, absolutely get it graded.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep. And the cost of grading, by the way, is going to depend upon the value of the comic. So I wouldn't be able to give you an accurate amount based on just simply knowing what the number of the issue was.
Sure. So Galactic Curator, you can send it to us and we can get that graded for you. No,
I'll trade you my Anakin for it.
Put that down. Put that down.
Hey.
All right. Well, this has been a Jackson 5. Jackson, thank you very much. I love it. I learn every damn time.
Thank you guys for having me.
But this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
We take him out with the intro, right? Here we go.
Yeah, take him out with the intro.
Is there anybody named Jackson around?
The stuff of legend.
Yeah, he deserved. Like, I saw him literally, and I hope if you're out there and you had to pull yourself away from the phone, I get it. But Jackson made that, and I watched him pull his headphones off while that was hitting us as the distortion. It's good though. The little explanation behind that, we have like Carol Burnett introducing the Jackson 5 in the beginning, and then a little OPP, which is great, and then OPP was that's my interpretation.
Yeah.
Probably is a cut, and then followed by the actual Jackson, his namesake, saying something.
Yeah,
the
voice of Jackson.
Yes, very good, Jackson. Thank you for issue #1. Now I'm going to go peel that out of my bin. Andy, I am in full. Like, I ripped apart my collection today.
Yeah, you did.
This isn't even on the docket for our conversation.
No,
but I ripped apart my entire collection, put them in bins.
Did you catalog?
I did not catalog, but I do have pictures.
Okay. This, I think we should probably just segue into our main topic right now. As you can see behind us there, the main topic for today is, should you insure your collection? And the answer is maybe. Because like we said at the start, every collection's different. Every collection's, different in size, in quantity, in quality, in value. And those are all things you have to consider if you're going to go to the lengths of insuring. Now, for singular items such as family heirlooms, jewelry, you might keep those in a safety deposit box. You might be better off purchasing a safe to keep items like that in, as opposed to insuring. But
we're talking about displayability.
But we also, for people like you and I, Josh, who have collections that are probably a little bit bigger than your average collector. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? As
we look around our community, I feel completely inept. So yeah.
So when it comes to a collection, so I asked a couple of people that I know that work in homeowners insurance, in the insurance community, and there is no straightforward answer on whether or not you should, or when should you, or what the best route is to go. I have my wife's uncle works for Allstate, and he says, if you have some valuable items, then maybe it's best to rent a safety deposit box. Or if you want them in the home so you can access them whenever you want to, then it's probably better to buy a safe. Now, my most valuable items won't fit in a safe. So for me, if I were going to do anything to protect my, for lack of a better term, assets, I would probably go the insurance route, because one of my most expensive items is that Italian Star Wars poster, right?
Sure.
That I had framed, and let's say that's worth $1,000.
Right.
Okay. I can't fit that in a safe. At least
you could roll it up and fold it in half and shove it in there.
So
come on, buddy.
Full disclosure,
All
it
right.
came folded. I
All
could,
right.
I could fold it up.
Fold disclosures.
That might be the tequila talking, but
what are you talking about?
I wouldn't want to do that because I love looking at it. So for me, maybe, I wouldn't insure one thing like that. I would have to insure the whole collection. Now, let me read to you, just so I don't screw anything up. Let me read to you what my Uncle Jim said. And he works for Allstate. He says, regarding collectibles, most are typically covered as part of regular contents within the home under your homeowner's insurance. Stamps and coins are primary exemptions. You can usually endorse your homeowner's policy to provide coverage in these instances. Trading cards are limited coverage to about $1,000 in most cases. There's not usually a way to expand that coverage. Best to get a heavy safe or rent a safety deposit box for smaller items. It's always good to have photo documentation of your belongings, including your collectibles. Keep photos or duplicates in a safe place in case of fires. Okay. And then I have my homeowner's insurance through American National. And I asked my
American National Insurance.
I'm not sure that's the jingle.
I'm sorry.
I think it's a different jingle.
No, whatever.
But my insurance provider said you can add collectibles scheduled to your homeowner's policy. It's pretty easy. Create a list of items with values, pictures, and add them. So they're included under your homeowner's insurance policy. To have a separate collector's policy would have to check on the specifics to that. So it's a little bit more.
Well, I think if you have, like, let's say you've got your normal run of the mill, you could price it out even with your poster and just be like, my collection's worth $20,000 or $30,000. I mean, really,
sure.
If we look at it over time, especially with some of the rares on the vintage, and you could probably say, I would probably estimate your collection in that area.
Okay. I think I would too. Probably closer to
20.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where what I do with mine is like, it's probably like 15 to 20. I think you're a little higher. So that's the question. Will homeowners as a blanket umbrella cover it already? Or do you want to define like, this is my collection? Now, if all of a sudden you get a prototype Boba Fett or, something that I think your number is like 10,000 or above, that you want to insure independently.
Singular items.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way I kind of understand it here is that if your collection is, and this is a little bit depending on the provider too. So if this is something you've ever thought about, please ask your agent. Give them a call and ask what they can provide for you, because it might be a very low dollar monthly amount that might be worth your peace of mind.
Like $9 or $10 is really what it might come down to. It might come down to $200 a year,
right?
Type of scenario.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's doable, then it might be worth it. Just like any sort of, like, I think of like life insurance is something that you would like to have when possible, just for the peace of mind.
Sure.
And so insuring your collection, if you put a lot of time and energy into building up your collection, then this might be the cherry on top to preserve it. Now, whether you decide to insure or not, I think it is a 100% great idea to document what you have.
Yeah.
Catalog what you have.
Yeah.
Now, that may take a little bit of time to do,
Well, but it could also just take a bunch of pictures on your iPhone of your collection as it stands. Now, if you have things that are hidden behind the background, you can't prove that you've got a first edition comic that's tucked back in a file cabinet, then you're going to have to pull that out and take pictures of it. But I think the only thing that I would say that you can't protect, which would be my issue, whether I was covered or not, if heaven forbid, the house is destroyed and along with my collection, would be the sentimentality. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I own only has value in how I
perceive it
and how I acquired it. Like the value is built into the acquisition. So,
this, I mean, I don't think most collectors even consider this. I think for me to go, follow through with actually getting maybe a separate policy for my collection, I think it's going to have to be around 50,000 for me.
Right.
And I've got a long ways to go before I get to that mark.
Sure.
But,
but look, we just had Jackson on with a potential, he was talking about $10,000 or $20,000 comic.
Right. A single comic.
If his graded 9 is worth 1,500 at wherever, I don't know what the differential was, but look, insurance is very relative. I mean, we like to, I think as a group of people that pay insurance, like to kind of be like, insurance sucks. But really on things of value that aren't that valuable, but they are to you. And if you lost them, it'd suck. Like I said, if you're insuring a $10,000 or $20,000 collection, even a $5,000 collection, you're literally paying $200 a year to get that covered.
Right.
And a little bit of documentation, a little bit of cataloging is going to alleviate, in the event. Look, we just had our buddy Scotty from the network. I mean, he had to put everything on stilts last week because they were flooding.
Right.
And even if that, $200 whatever gets ruined, it's still the $200 whatever that you really liked. And I feel like it's not a bad, I'm not an insurance salesman and I don't work for an insurance company, but when you start adding up, like how much are you paying for Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Max,
right?
Spending $10 a month to protect what you really love, what you're coming on here to talk about with us,
exactly,
is nothing.
Yeah. So I guess that again, that boils down to what you have and what's valuable with what you have, and how you want to best protect that. Black Series items are fairly gettable. So maybe
replaceable,
but
that means that your insurance would be even better, because if you insured it at value, you thought that I just packed all my Black Series up into bins because I'm moving my collection, and it was weird that it went into 2 40-gallon bins, but also if I were to put a number on those, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And if those bins melted down in tonight's fire.
Next on
tonight's fire.
So do you think Gilster asked the question, do you think it scares insurance companies?
Not at all. Actually, it's a safe bet for them. That's why they want to get 150 or 200 out of you, because one, it's not like driving a car where everything's a risk as soon as you turn the ignition on, especially given your age or whatever. It is your stuff in your house that you're protecting with your very life, if you can, and doing everything in your power not to mess up, as opposed to maybe hopping in a car and rodding on it, maybe having a few drinks and rodding on it.
Right.
And in your house, you're like, no, geez, it would suck if I lost everything here.
Right. I think an insurance company is going to see it as,
well, it's risk versus
free.
It's free money.
Free money.
If you get 3 people and they get 3 people to pay $200 a year, you can form your own insurance company.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the Galactic Curator says something to consider safe-wise is the temperature. What temperatures would fireproof safes even reach? I think a lot of them.
No, they're all rated
350 degrees, which is okay for paper, but for plastic figures, maybe not so much. So yeah, that's a good thing to point out. I've kicked around. I have a safe for other things, but I don't have a safe for my collection.
Well, and you shouldn't, because you display your collection.
That's
so
true.
I mean, that's the rub. You shouldn't. You part of it is happiness. I have no desire to own any Star Wars collectible outside of opening the box.
Right.
But I will still display
its own
that
mini
box.
safe.
Yeah. And then, but I have no desire to shove something in a safe and never look at it for fear of losing it. I think as an investor in any collectible, you have to weigh that. Like, if I buy this, is it displayable for me, or am I buying it for some sort of return later on? And you know, Andy and I, return is minimal. Return is important.
Sure.
If you're buying a couple things, you know, and maybe you want to make a buck later because you're seeing the future, or maybe you're like, look, I can give this to a person for a fair price because I had the option to get it, even though they might be getting scalped elsewhere, you know. So that might be an option.
So I guess ultimately for you guys, for us, you know, in order to decide whether or not you have a collection worthy of getting its own insurance,
right,
you have to kind of figure out what the value of your collection net worth might be, or maybe what some of the high dollar items, if you have high dollar items, like if you have items over $1,000, like,
here's what I think you said that was the most important. Whether you have renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, you know, anything to cover your dwelling, take pictures.
Right.
Because that at least is going to give you a starting point. If you don't take pictures and heaven forbid something happens to your home, tornado or fire or whatever, then it's just your word against the insurance companies. And
that's not good enough.
Guess who wins?
Yep.
It's just like in your car when the car stereo gets stolen, when it gets prowled, no one takes pictures of their car stereo. And guess what? Insurance companies never pay for your car stereo.
No, they don't.
They might pay for your purse or your wallet, but they won't pay for your car stereo.
Right.
So
good luck with that. Please, we encourage you to seek out your homeowner's insurance provider, your agent, and just ask the question. And if you have something worth insuring, if you have a collection worth insuring, then take the necessary steps required. At the very least, photograph.
I think photographs are free, especially on our iPhones and you know, cell phones, where you just walk in there and just take pictures. I have pictures that were more for, you know, prosperity than it was for anything else. So I'm like, hey, check out my room I just got done with. But I think back on those and like, that's proof positive that I have a larger collection. So,
Josh, what do you think the most valuable thing in your collection is?
Well, I mean, I don't have a grail. I just don't have like a vintage grail. You can go down, like you can do the, you know, the battle wagon or the Bluetooth or the snaggle, you know,
the blue snaggle
tooth,
you said
Bluetooth, whatever the technology. You can go yak face, you can go anything.
Barge,
I think
right
really
there.
it's the barge. I think I still have a barge in a box, and it might be the most valuable. I still have the signed Fisher Mayhew. It might be the most valuable.
Maybe.
I don't know. I would say $1,000 to $2,000 is really my realm of one piece that's super valuable. I don't have anything above that.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's for somebody else's collection. Yeah. Hopefully one of our listeners has one of those.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Hashtag show me your collection. Please.
Show me your most expensive item and your address. Josh, I think.
Is it time
for our toy feature? For our Red 5 toy feature?
Is it time for a Red 5 toy feature?
We've got let's go 2 things left here. Let's skip the kick start.
We have 2 really good things. If you're thinking about bailing right now, it's the wrong time, because
don't bail yet.
All the boring crap prior to this.
This is the adult conversation's
We just
over.
talked insurance.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
on a toy
as like a really good, like, yeah, that'll be a solid topic. You know, anyway, the amortization and look, you got to think about your regional rates here, bro.
Yeah, the Pacific Northwest, the cost of living is
you have a higher chance of a rain infestation than you do a termite infestation.
Flooding, possibly, and then of course Mount St. Helens could erupt.
Anyway, we're keeping it boring. Stick around because I have one thing I can't wait for, and Andy's making me do this other thing first.
Yes.
So whatever.
Well,
whatever. No,
ladies
this other
and
thing is
gentlemen,
great. This
ladies and gentlemen, the Red 5 Designs toy feature.
Hey, there it is.
Speaking of items that cost a little bit of money to procure, we have a 1985 Power of the Force Tatooine Skiff. And Josh, you do have the box for this.
I do.
This
I
is
do.
out
We
of
didn't
Josh's
pull
own
it out.
collection.
Yeah.
Um,
I've cataloged it though, guaranteed.
Excellent. Nice
Yikes.
job. The Skiff came out right at the end of the kind of the original vintage Star Wars line of figures and vehicles. This is one of the last vehicles that, especially full size, this is not a mini rig. This isn't considered a full size vehicle, and came out in 1985 when the popularity for Star Wars was at probably its lowest point, and that's why we didn't get toys after this. And this is a high dollar item now because they weren't very popular in 1985.
It is. I'd like to ask the chat, what do you think this is worth with a box?
With a box, I can tell you because
I know you can tell me, but I don't know because this is a 2-year-old purchase, so I don't know what it's worth now. I would say maybe a little bit more, but I'm going to ballpark this. But I want to let the chat go down. But before we talk about that, the cool thing about this is that some of these vehicles and ships that we got from the Return of the Jedi were very well developed. Like this has a very cool feature. Andy, you were playing with it. One of the levers pulls out the
gang
plank,
yeah.
the plank, so to speak, and it's fantastic. It's just a cool toy. The issue was it didn't come out in time for kids that were deep into Return of the Jedi to enjoy it.
Right.
This was later.
No, this was 2 years.
2 years later.
This is 2 years after Return of the Jedi, and this you're right. It has actually 2 movable features on. There are 2 levers. One lever moves in and out the plank, as you can see right now. It's kind of extended, and then the other lever.
You can do the. Oh, I'm not even on screen. I was doing the Luke salute.
The Luke salute,
Yeah.
and then the other lever moves the landing gear up and down. So currently the landing gear is down. That's why you can see it propped up the way it is. I will say this vehicle has a lot of delicate pieces to it. And so you can, I mean, if you were to find parts for this, or if you were to try and purchase parts for this, the parts will add up very quickly to be more expensive than probably buying one that is complete itself. We see some people in the chat. I think anywhere
I have
from
some good guesses. We got 650 from JD. We've got 600 from Galactic Curator. Matt's got an 800. Gilster's got a 500, and then he saw one mint in a box at 11, and then he would guess around 800. Galanorian's got 7. By the way, you're all there. You're all right there. And this particular piece I purchased with a box about 2 years, right?
Yeah, it's about 2 years.
600 was the price. So I would feel like a 7, 8, 6 to 7, 8. You know, who knows what inflation is.
A complete one with the box right now, if you were to go on sold listings on eBay, you're going to see that it's anywhere from $600 to $1,000.
Exactly. So depending on condition of the box, a minted box is actually going to jump up, obviously, to 11. I would say like 12 or 13 would be the number now. But $1 for Mr. Rez.
$1, Bob.
Keith's got a 975 for us, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping.
Yeah, no, I mean, you find one
not selling, but
you find one in the box. Maybe it's never been opened. You're gonna exceed that $1,000 mark. So, but
this was a cool purchase, with the exception because I bought this literally 2 years ago because of the barge. The barge is coming, and I thought, what a cool addition.
Yeah.
Then the Vintage Collection came out with their own skiff, which is awesome, by the way.
Sure.
Has an excellent. It's upstairs, but it has an excellent base. So while you see this on its landing gear, the Vintage Collection has a base with a clear stand and allows you to kind of tilt the axis a little bit so it looks like,
it's in flight.
When when it gets hit, it gets hit by the turbo laser and cocks over, and there goes Lando. So I like that.
A little higher.
You what?
I thought you were blind.
Yeah, exactly. So
isn't it terrible?
But like to Andy's point, it's a very cool piece. Both of the I think the railing that you see, the center railing, will drop down.
It can, yes.
It can drop down. So as a collectible piece next to the barge, it's kind of sweet to have a vintage piece. If you find one of these, incomplete or otherwise, buy it. Just buy them, because they're not making more. They're making more of the Vintage Collection,
right?
But these are some of those rare, like Andy said, nobody wanted these. They were 2 years late. Nobody wanted them. They didn't make many of them, and so you can grab a very vintage. And by the way, the Vintage Collection piece that was made 2 years ago to complement the barge doesn't look much different. It's got a little weathering.
Yeah,
that's about it.
It's not much different. The other versions of this are very similar, and they've tried to kind of hit around it. But this is the most delicate version, right? The pieces are the most fragile, I would probably say.
Yes, but
it's tough to beat the original for me. It's tough to beat the original when the original is pretty solid. So
it's solid. That's what I was saying. Like the Vintage Collection, all they did was put some weathering on the skin. That's about it. Yeah. Everything else is pretty similar. All right, can we finally get to the part?
This has been a Red 5 toy design.
Thank you, Red 5. For this for too long. I don't even know if I leave the screen. I'm worried about our screen behind us if I leave the screen.
Why?
Well, because it does that. So, because I have to go, because it's just gonna. Yeah.
Well, okay. So, how do you want to set this up?
I'm gonna set it. I just want the music. Is all I want. Oh yeah, I found it. All right, good. That was a little taste. And now we look like we're in the black hole. God,
so,
dang it.
If you are a patron of the Beyond the Blast Doors network, you saw this picture go out late last night.
You did.
And
good
again,
for frickin' you.
This photograph is from a photo shoot that Josh called me over to do a few Mondays ago. No, Tuesdays ago. A couple Tuesdays ago. Josh's cousin's a photographer, and he's like, "Hey, come over and take some Star Wars pictures."
So anyway, we have coined this handsome fellow that you see on our screen
as,
and no one in this room knew this guy was going to show up.
No,
that's what was amazing about it.
This just
all of a sudden, this guy showed up and was affectionately coined
Red 69.
Red 69.
So,
and you can see it now. Look. You can't, you can't see it on the screen because I'm looking right now. But on the left side of his helmet, you're right. If you're looking, it says property of Red 69, which is totally, man, it's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest shots from Star Wars that isn't canon that I've ever seen. It should be canon.
Make Red 69 canon.
We on Make Solo 2 Happen day, we're going to coin Make Red 69 canon, because
so among the people that we showed this to, and I'll be honest with you, Josh, it's a little embarrassing.
Of course you're embarrassed. I don't know why you are. You have a striking similarity to Red 69, but you're not that guy.
I don't have the hair.
No, but he does.
I do have the shirt.
You do. Red 69 is actually one of my Star Wars heroes at this point. So what we did is we came up with, like, you're looking at this picture on our screen right now. Let me see if I have I don't know if I loaded a better pic of that or not. But anyway, it's on our screen. So we came up with the top 10 captions you would put to this picture for Red 6'9".
In a David Letterman style bit.
Sure. And so here we go. And we're going to do it to the tune of the Spinner's tune.
Tune.
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't use it on the last one. We're
All
going
right,
to use it on this
Josh,
one.
you start us off here.
Here we go. I'm starting us off. All right. Here we go.
Oh, that's the full picture.
There it is.
I got a medal on.
there it
Or, I
is.
mean, Red 6'9's got a medal on.
Red 6. I got a medal on. I got a medal on.
All right, go.
Hold on.
Okay,
I got to hit the tunes. I got to hit the tunes.
Hit the
Hold on.
tunes. Oh, my goodness.
Come on, tunes. Oh, yeah.
Best comments. Wait, let me read some of the comments.
Sure. I mean, we have, hold on. Go ahead. We were trying to get this started, but if you want to read some, do you want to kill the thunder? Let's read it after.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, here we go. Top 10 captions for Red 6'9". I'm starting it off.
Number 10.
Number 10. He wears a watch that just says, "It's Miller time."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Number 9.
He doesn't fly a starfighter unless it has at least an X rating.
Oh. Number 8. He used to give Porkins wedgies at the academy.
Porkins.
Porkins. Woo! Here it
Number
comes.
7.
Number 7.
Not only was he the best man at your wedding, he was the groom at your mom's.
Oh!
Hey!
At your mom's wedding.
Yo mama.
Number 6. His cologne is too strong for blasters.
That's my favorite one. Number 5. His biceps are named scum and villainy.
Oh, of course they are. Look at them. Look at those things bulging out of that shirt.
That shirt can't contain those.
No, they can't. Number 4. He snickers and elbows you while whispering "hand" every time he hears the name Han Solo. Every fucking time.
Number 3. He noodles for exogorths.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Look at it. Look at that guy. He noodles for exogorths.
You know it.
Number 2. When he's not flying an X-Wing, he drives a Pontiac Firebird with the license plate, "I'm your dad."
No doubt.
No doubt. Are you guys ready for number 1?
And the number 1.
The
best
number 1
caption for Red 6'9".
for Red 6'9" is
a new picture. He calls his bedroom the Sarlacc pit, where you will slowly be satisfied for 1,000 years. Oh yeah. Oh, do we hit the music? Perfect.
Dude, that was perfect. It was like we rehearsed it.
That was so stupid.
It was so perfect. Guess what, folks? You need to insure this PowerPoint. Because that's gold. That is gold. I don't even know where I'm at. I've probably got my full screen on there.
Some other comments here from Gary. He's got a 6 and a 9 pack.
Was that on the screen? I don't even know if that was on the screen.
I don't know. That was.
Did
Gary.
we do it right?
That was.
I
Gary.
don't even
That was
remember.
Gary. Put the picture back up. We got a few more to go through.
I'm sorry.
Damn,
it's good stuff.
Definitely collecting Star Wars. Hello, ladies. How much do you know about intertwined celestial bodies? That's pretty good. From our patrons, Matthew had a couple of good ones. The 44-year-old virgin was one of them, but I'm gonna take a slight offense to that.
Yeah, well, you're fine.
Red 6'9's got.
You got like 3 kids. You're good.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Also, Leroy Lemire. Hey, ladies, my helmet's up here.
I loved him. I love him.
Love that.
I love him.
Seth, when you're going out with the boys at 7, but you need to blow up the Death Star at 6. And Matt, I got to give you credit for this one. Your last one was your best one there. It says, feeling kind of cool. Might go bullseye some womp rats later. Love that. Love that. Nice job, guys.
Oh, look at Gary. Gary's in. He definitely shot first. Oh. If he offers you 68, I got this one.
Okay.
You owe him one? Yeah. I mean, Red 69, our patron saint, Red 69. This son of a bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being as cool as this guy? I tell you what.
He needs a gentle giant bust, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Hey, here's a Porkins bust. Right
Yeah,
here.
there he is. Give him wedgies. That's why he doesn't have a lower torso.
Too many wedgies from well, that was embarrassing and fun.
You know what? It's not. It's one of the best pictures I've ever seen of this guy.
It's one of my best.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Best pictures.
All right.
Not
So
afraid to say
your chance to embarrass me is coming up next week.
Well,
Andy
it's coming
is a
up
good
this
sport.
week.
Yeah, this week. This week. Sorry, for next week.
At the beginning of the show, we teased that we have 2 Book of Boba Fett posters left. Okay. If you are a previous winner, you can still win another, and you can do with it what you want. You can bless it on to somebody else. You can leave it in the box. Nah, we wouldn't. I mean, those things need to breathe. But what we're going to do, we're going to leak these photos. I shouldn't say leak because it's not like anybody's anticipating them, but we're going to
Oh, they are.
We're
waiting for this.
We're going to slow drip these photographs.
Oh, that's worse.
Out.
That's worse. It sounds like an issue.
Clap.
An issue. An issue has occurred.
Okay. So we're going to release these over time. And the next one we're going to do is one of Josh.
Well, we haven't decided what this guy's name is.
No,
And
he may not need a name, but what you need to do is give it a caption. So on Twitter, you got to follow us on Twitter at Holochronicles. That's the only
here you
way,
go, guys. I'm putting it up on the screen. The only way you can know what this picture looks like is by looking at the screen.
That's a gorgeous jacket you're wearing.
Yeah. Star Wars Celebration number 1.
Number 1 jacket. So we're going to need, your best caption for this photograph. Stay tuned on Twitter. I will post the picture tomorrow and leave it up. No, it's just going to be there. You guys post for your chance to win one of our last 2 Red 5 Book of Boba Fett posters in an A2 sized frame.
Right.
But frame not included.
Nice.
Slide that in there. We'll roll it up and put it in a tube for you. But if you want one of those posters, if you want another one of those posters, you're going to need to caption this photo. We'll put it on.
Caption this photo. We'll put it up so you can see it a little better. It is not loading up into the main screen, but fine. I like the mystery. You got to go to Twitter. You got to like. And by the way, you got to comment after our live broadcast. Your best. I see a lot in the chat, but please comment after the cast is over, which is momentarily, your best Red 69 caption. Because we've had a ton, and I want them out there for the world to see. I will probably make the thumbnail Red 69 instead of our normal thumbnail, just so that we can just keep the captions flowing.
Now we'll clip this.
Yeah, we'll clip it.
We'll clip that, and you comment on that.
All
Anyway, for the Holochronicles podcast, we ready to wrap this thing?
Yeah,
up?
we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
Okay.
We've had a great time.
We talked about a new helmet.
We had Jackson 5 come in. Tell
The
us
Jackson
about
5
number 1.
Comic number 1.
Yep.
Talked about whether or not you should think about insuring your collection and the questions that surround that.
Sure.
And then we had a good old laugh with Red 69. So
he's a good guy.
I think he's the kind of guy you'd want at your parties, but not at your
not your mom's
bar
house.
mitzvah. So anyway, on behalf of the Holochronicles podcast, this is Josh. This is Andy. Go play with your toys.